Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode with your girl, Audrey Codner from ACG Math Tutoring. I hope you have a happy and healthy Saturday as we are coming again to do a little bit more math just to get you closer to your goal. So if your goal is getting your GED, right, getting that ASVAB, maybe even getting close with the ACCUPLACER or any kind of standardized test, be it that you're currently in an Algebra 1 or Algebra 2 class, or you're currently looking at your college algebra career so you can get that credit. This is the live for you. So as you guys are coming on in, go ahead and tap away. It'll be awesome and lovely to see you guys coming on in. Also, if you want to stay and say a little hi, go ahead, say hi. I'll say hi back. Trust me, I don't bite. I had dinner. So hopefully everyone is doing well. What we're working on tonight is called compound inequalities. So for the last couple of days, I want to say, we have been working on inequalities and also interval notation. Now, with a compound inequality, before we were working at one inequality at a time. But now we're working at two inequalities that's either going to be merged either as an AND statement or as an OR statement. But no matter what, our major quest is to find what range of numbers, be it from positive infinity to negative infinity, greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. What are those sets of numbers that's going to make whatever our inequality is a true statement? So we're going to get started once you guys start tapping. There's 21 people. I lied. 24 people that have come into the live. Let's see if we can tap all the way up. Just a quick little mad tap so I don't have to beg you for mad taps later on. Right? Well, hello, Marvelly. How are you? Greetings to you. So, greetings as Bama. She's in here. That's it. Menelated Beauty, welcome in. Maggie Williams, my goodness, been trying to contact you for a minute. Hopefully everything is going well. Let me know if you still need some assistance. All right. Milky 4 stars. Hi there. Okay, greetings to you. Thank you for coming on in. All right, thank you for taking time away from your crazy schedule. Either, hey, it's football season, so I get it. I get it. Hopefully your team won. That's the one thing. My college didn't have football. I know, shocker, right? Yes, don't be too shocked. But yeah, I went to St. Joe's University. We were a basketball school, so when that basketball season comes on in next month, yada yada. Yeah, I can't wait. All right. Okay. When did you text me back? Because I would love. All kinds of crazy things have been going on around here. And I swear, I think technology is completely against me. All right. Okay. Thank you so much for the mad taps. Now, let's get started. As my cat comes in. Seriously, we've been sitting here this whole time. Nothing. And now, she looks at me. Let's go. I know. Come on. I know. You want to be famous. I got it. Okay? Give me a little bit of time. I'll be back. I'll let you in. Okay, so when we're talking about compound inequalities, let's get with our first example. So we have 18 is less than 6n and less than or equal to 60. Okay, I see you, Maggie. Thank you. I was like, all of a sudden, this is me. All right. So, what is actually happening here? Let me use this on the side sheet. So what's happening here? You're looking at what's called an AND statement. There are two inequalities that's happening at the same time. Now, one of the inequalities is 18 is less than 6n, and the other inequality is 6n is less than or equal to 60. Now, if I were to solve this, okay, I know over here I would solve this first by dividing both sides by 6. So 6 divided by 6, they will cancel out and give me 1n, or I could just write n. And since I divide it by a positive 6, my inequality doesn't change direction. So that just comes on down. Then I will have 18 divided by 6, which gives me 3. Okay? So we're saying 3 is less than any number. Okay? Whatever the number is. So over here, I would do exactly the same thing. I would divide both sides by 6. Then once I do that, 6 divided by 6 gives me 1n, or just n. And since I divide by a positive 6, my inequality is going to stay exactly the same. And then 60 divided by 6, that will give me 10. So my answer here will be n is less than or equal to 10. So we don't have to find the GCF. We're just solving like we normally do. And remember, the key thing is to get the variable by itself. But you don't have to split them up to solve them. Okay, I'm going to graph them after I show you the next step. So let's say we are just getting this, a regular inequality. And what we're going to do is we're going to work, what I like to say over here, we're going to work from the inside out. Okay, we're going to work on the inside out. So what does that mean? I'm going to work in the middle in between my two inequalities. So if I may, let me see if I could just use this paper. Okay. So if I cover up my two sides, I have 6n. If I want to get n out of there just by itself, I need to get rid of the 6. So since I don't have a minus or a plus sign in between the 6 and the n, that means this is multiplication. And the inverse of multiplication is division. But I'm not just dividing what's in between the inequalities. I'm also dividing both of my ends with that 6. Okay, so this is what I mean. I'm going to work from the inside out. Okay, I'm going to work from the inside out. So this should look somewhat familiar because we divided 18 by 6. We divided 18 by 6. We divided 60 by 6. We divided 60 by 6. Okay? So what happens, still working in the middle, 6 divided by 6, that gives me a 1, and a 1n. So we have 18 divided by 6. That gives me my 3. We have 60 divided by 6. That gives me my 10. And just like I mentioned with these two examples, we're going to keep the direction of the inequality because we're dividing by a positive number. So all I'm doing is bringing down my less than here and my less than and equal to here. So this is my answer, and how do I know when to stop? Is if I look in between the two inequalities and I just see my variable. That's how I know when I need to cease and I'm at my final destination. Okay? Now, okay, no problem. Now, we want to graph this. Okay, and before we did some graphing, and all we had to do was just put one number. But this time, again, we got two inequalities going on at the same time. So if I wanted to graph this, I'm going to graph a nice little line. Okay, this is going to negative infinity. This is going to positive infinity. Then I'm going to write my two ends. So my one end is a 3. The other end is a 10. Okay, so this is when we're going to have to think of them almost separately. So when we did it separately, we had 3 is less than n. So if I were to graph this, just like a single graph, we would have had the 3 here. Now, when I make my circle, is it going to be open or closed? Go ahead and put that in there. Okay, is it going to be open or closed? Okay, Jumpin' Jan. Hey, Jan, welcome back. Saying open. Okay, hey, saying open. Then we have Allie with open, Marvelli with open, N with open, Chapas, #1 fan, open, Anita, open, good, Caribbean Queen, welcome back, open, okay, Lala, open, N, I saw you earlier with open, so Irvin, okay, so we will put an open circle here at the 3. Now, which way would you shade? If 3 is less than n, and if you're just like, I think I get it, but I'm not sure. If you want to flip things around, you could. I could say n, switch my sign, is greater than, then I bring down my 3. These two things mean the same thing. So we're saying n is greater than 3. So a lot of you, hey Danny. So a lot of you are saying to the left because you're so used to people telling you, oh, you go the direction of the, where it's pointing, right? But here's the thing. That only works when your variable is on the left-hand side. Okay, that only works when the variable's on the left-hand side. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I didn't know I had a goal, but here we are. All right. So when your variable's on the left-hand side, yes, you can use that rule. Just follow the direction of where your inequality is pointing. But when your number's over here, you're going to have to do the opposite. Okay. So it's not going to go to the left. It's actually going to go to the right. Because 3 is less than, that means 3 is lower than any other number that you pick over here. So it's going to be shade all the way to positive infinity. Okay? Keep that in mind. Now, coming over here. Remember how we solved this when it was individual? We had n is less than or equal to 10. Okay? So if we graphed it, just like how we did past couple of days, would it be open or closed? Put it in the chat. Would it be open or closed? Okay, so N saying close, Bama saying close, Wendy's closed, Carmela closed, open. Okay, Danny closed. Okay, Chopper closed. Marvelli saying closed. Lala closed. Mr. SRG. Okay, check. Okay, yes, Mar. Good. Carrying over with the interval notation with the bracket. Yes. So it can be closed. I just want to show this part before I go to interval notation. The reason why it's closed if you look underneath your inequality, there's a line there. So this inequality symbol is telling me less than or equal to. That's how you say it. It's not less than, greater than. I don't know who invented that. That needs to stop. Okay? It's not less than, equal. It's less than or equal to. Okay? So that means we're dealing with numbers that are less than or equal to 10, or less than or and including 10. So that means I'm shading all the way down to negative infinity. Now, if I put these two together, what do you notice? The graphs. If I put those two graphs together, what do you notice? And if you're not sure if you notice anything, you can put a question mark. Because when you put a question mark, that means you're here, you're kind of thinking, but I'm not too sure, Audrey. And that's perfectly fine. Because some of you guys, you haven't seen this since you were a fetus. And now all of a sudden, you got this crazy black lady that's sitting here at 7:17 on a Saturday night, talking about like, hey, let's do math. Give yourself some grace, okay? Give yourself some grace. Oh, thanks for the follows, guys. All right. So going opposite directions, okay, the less than or equal to has a closed circle versus the equal open circle, okay? All right, people are making fun of me, but that's fine. Julian is in deep thought. I can hear the Jeopardy music playing in the background. Okay. The infinity signs are different. Ooh, user 5166. We're thinking. Okay, go. One goes the negative infinity, the other the positive infinity. Also overlap a bit. Ooh, go. Go. Okay, coming together in the middle. Yes. Hey, Janice. They connect. Yes. I know, I feel like, Okay, no clue other than they touch. Julian, that's what it is. Okay, so let's take a look. This was going to go all the way to positive infinity. This one is going to go all the way to negative infinity. But it seems like there's a stopping ground here, okay, because there's no more shading over here. There's a stopping ground here at 3 because there's no more shading down there. So the place where all your solutions are going to be, that's going to make both of those inequalities into true statements, are going to lie right in between positive 3 and positive 10. So if I were to graph these, okay, instead of splitting it up like, the Supremes, here we go. We got our 3 here. We have our 10 here. This inequality goes with the 10. So since it's less than or equal to, that is going to be a dot. Then we have 3 is less than n. That's going to be an open circle because this inequality goes with the 3. Now, if you ever get confused with compound inequalities, cover up one and focus. Cover up the other, then focus. And I noticed that the shading was right smack in the middle. Okay? I can pick any number between 3 and 7, plug it in, and it will give me a true statement. Like if I plugged in 5. All right? 5 is less than or equal to 10. That's a true statement. 3 is less than 5. That's a true statement. So that number of 5, which is somewhere in my shaded, satisfied both of my inequalities. Okay, that satisfied both my inequalities. Julian, where were you back when I was in high school and community college doing algebra? I don't know, we were probably in the same class. Because trust me, I sucked at this stuff, and I don't know how, but maybe God has another way for me because I used to really suck at this. Okay? Questions. Let me scroll up because I did not really ignored you, but I was so focused with the math. Okay. All right. I think you guys are all set. Okay. Thanks so much for sharing and the follows. I mean, this is what I need to do. This is a platform for those people that math was not our thing because people made us feel stupid and did not give us the space to ask questions. Because God forbid, if you're in middle school and you wanted to ask a question, what happened? Yeah, people made you feel stupid. All they wanted to do was go out for recess, but you're like, I still don't get it. Yeah, and you shut your mouth and you went out and played recess. Okay? So this is the place to kind of feel comfortable again. I hope you feel comfortable. If not, let me know what you need and we'll see what we can do. Okay? All right. Oh, hold on. Missing messages. Okay. I do not do statistics. That is not my jam. I mean, I can probably take you to a point and then I'm going to have to pass you off to someone like a baton. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah. Negative, does the sign flip? Yes, it does, Monica. Good job. Yup. Hey, Ohio. You're comfortable? All right. Now, before I go to the next part, remember there was something called the interval notation? Let me use this color. Because some people, and I think some teachers nowadays are doing inequalities and interval notations at the same time. I still think that's evil. But we've kind of worked on it for those that weren't here before. Let me kind of give you the rundown. It's basically, you know how there used to be something called shorthand back in the day? Basically, interval notation is like shorthand when it comes to inequalities. So for this one, we have a beginning and an end. We always write the lowest number first when it comes to interval notations. So my lowest number is a 3. The next number in my interval is a 10. Okay, since we had a beginning and an end point, right? Now, anytime you have less than or greater than, not with the line underneath it, without the line underneath, you always have a parenthesis. Okay? The parenthesis, it's almost like, and I like to use it as, I wear my comfy pants when I go for Thanksgiving. Okay? I wash them. They're cute. Okay? They blend. They're black. You know, it blends in, right? But they're stretchy. And you want something that's going to, conform to as you're shoving all this stuff down your throat, all this delicious goodness in your mouth, right? And you have a slight tendency to bloat and to expand. And you want something comfortable. So you want something that's going to give you that stretch. Hence the parenthesis, okay? That's why negative infinity, positive infinity always gives you the parenthesis. Now, if you see less than or equal to, or even greater than or equal to, if there's a line underneath, you're going to have an answer that is a bracket. So it's almost like you have a dog kennel in your house. The dog is in the house, but he's inside of a kennel. He can get up, he can move around, but he can't move around the house. He's in that same lovely little spot. Okay, so it's almost like you're keeping that thing in a cage. So this is the interval notation of our inequality. Okay, how are we doing? And I know for some people that are like, dude, I haven't seen this since I was a fetus and I can't. We're going to take it slow by slow, step by step. Okay, so just stick with me. Okay. All right, so let's that was our first example. So for people that are just coming in, can I repeat that? Which part? About the interval notation? Interval notation. Okay, so when you have, actually I'm going to put it over here. Okay, so for the interval notation, I'm going to put it down here. Give myself some room. So for the interval notation, if you have less than or even greater than, you will always get parentheses. But if it's less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, you will always have brackets. Now, both of the numbers don't have to. And if your answer is ever an infinity, infinity always gets parentheses, regardless if it's a positive infinity or a negative infinity. Okay, so parentheses mean unbounded. You're so welcome. Hey, Big Al. No problem. We just finished number 1. And I'm going to do the second one similar to the first one. So I think it'll be all right. When do I go live again? I will be here tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. Okay? But things are going to get a little bit changed next week because I'm trying to do more specialty things, especially people that are trying to get their ASVAB. And I think GED are the 2 ones that I'm trying to do. But for the weekends right now, I'll be here again tomorrow. Now, here's another thing. If anyone has to go, I understand. It's Saturday night. You guys have a life. I don't. If you ever get stuck, you can go here. Okay, give me some time because sometimes it takes forever to download these videos from TikTok. But you can go here, and if you do a search for this, ACG Math Tutoring, or even my name, Audrey Codner, you will get all my replays. There is a playlist that says TikTok Lives, and you will see all of my replays from February 2nd. So there are some things about factoring. There's some things about fractions, adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing integers, quadratic equations, rational functions, radical operations, sine, cosine, tangent, Pythagorean theorem, a little bit of geometry with the volume, anything that you're going to see basically on the GED, Algebra 1, parts of Algebra 2, any of those foundational algebra things, even college algebra, anything like that. So if you can go there and you can do these 5 things for me, I would greatly appreciate it. I want to see how far I can go and grow on that. But at the same time, it's something that's going to be helpful to you. Okay? All right. I wish I could understand French, but I do not. Okay? With factoring, yes, they're in here. All you have to do is, like, once you go into the playlist, just click on the search and type in factoring. Bada boom, bada bing is going to pop up. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, you struggle with algebra. I am going to be here. My son is in 8th grade Algebra 1 honors. He's taking notes from you. Awesome. Well, welcome in, darling. I'll try to keep it clean. No promises, Mom. No promises. You know, I might have to do some earmuffs here and there. But I'm going to try my best. All right. But again, you can watch the videos. You can definitely watch the videos. All right. So let's try this. So negative 54 is less than or equal to 9x, which is less than negative 27. me zoom in a little bit so you guys can see. Okay. College algebra moves so fast. Definitely. You know what? Is pre-calculus included in the videos? Some of pre-calculus is. Some of the pre-calculus is. Like, I would say, like, first semester, there's quite a bit. And especially if you're going to be doing anything with sine or cosine, with the trig, some of that is in there as well. Okay? Yep. You can take a look. Take a gander. All right. Hi, Kia. Yes. All right. And that's the one thing. And I really want to talk to my college algebra people, and I need your advice. And I'm going to ask that as soon as I'm done this problem. Okay? So now, we're going to work from the inside out. So our goal, I'm going to come in here. Our goal is to get our variable by itself in between the inequalities. So what we're going to do, we have to get rid of that 9. And how we're going to get rid of that 9? Because it's 9x, that means 9 times x. So we're going to divide by 9. Whatever you do in the middle, you need to do on the ends. So here, we're going to divide by 9 here. And we're going to divide by 9 there. Okay, good. So able to bust a small amount tonight, homeless, proof on page. I would love to. I'll see what I can do because I don't know. I will try. Okay, so now in between, we have that 9 divided by 9. 9 divided by 9 will give me 1. Okay, and we have our x by itself. So we bring this x on down. So now, take a look at the sides. Okay, let's not get too crazy. So I like to cover it up so I can focus on one concept at a time. So you have, let's say, a negative 54 divided by 9. That will give me a negative 6. I'm not going to put the inequality just yet. Okay, I'm going to save that for a second. Now, I want to cover up this side. So now we have negative 27 divided by 9. A negative divided by a positive, that will give me a negative. And 27 divided by 9 will give us 3. Good. Now, here's my little devil's advocate with me. We got negative numbers. Do we flip the inequalities? That's my question. Okay, so I'm seeing a combination of yes and no's, and this is why I asked this question. Okay, now I'm starting to see a couple more no's. Got a couple more yeses. Okay. Okay, no, because you didn't divide by a negative number. Yes. Good. We didn't divide by a negative. There we go, Caribbean Queen. Okay, so the answer to this is going to be no. Although we did get negative numbers as a result. But right here, we divided by a positive 9. The division is what causes the flip if you divide it by a negative number. Dividing or multiplying by a negative number, you will change the direction of the signs. Is that clearer now? Okay. Is that clearer now? So we're going to keep my inequality. All right, we're going to keep that inequality. So my x is by itself in between the two inequality signs. So that's when I know this is my answer. Okay, this is going to be my answer. Are we good so far? Okay, yep, it is class time. All right. Okay, yes, we're good. Okay. All right. Is this on the, yes, on the ASVAB? Oh, yes. Inequalities, anything, equations, y equals mx plus b. Yes, all of it. All of it. All of this. So if I were, which we're going to draw a line. We're going to put this, we're going to graph it. And instead of drawing out the entire graph, just put your endpoints. So -6, it's going to go here because -6 is smaller than -3. Okay, think of the number line. Okay, so you have your -6 and your -3. Okay, would it be safe to say the negative number closer to 0 is the larger number? You can say that. That's very safe for you to say. Yes. This is coming easily somehow, and I'd like to know what type of math I've come across. Right now, this is Algebra 1. This is Algebra 1. And you'll see it in the beginning stages of Algebra 2. So welcome into the madness. All right, so now we want to graph these two. We want to know what's going on. So I'm going to cover up this side so it won't look so crazy. So we have -6 is less than or equal to x. Is it going to be open or closed? Will my dot be open or closed? Okay, Desiree, you just need an opportunity, baby girl. We're right here. Good, we got closed, we got closed, we got open, we have closed, we have closed, we have closed and closed and closed and closed. Okay? Anytime there's a line underneath your inequalities, thank you for the closed. There we go. College algebra for the first time, so help. Hey, I'm here. Okay, we can do some tutoring. Anytime there's a line underneath the inequality symbol, that means you're including that number. So this will be a closed circle. Now, I'm not going to do the shading just yet. Actually, I probably could. So if we're saying -6 is less than x, so that means x has to be greater than or equal to -6. So you see how you can arrange it? If your brain doesn't see it from basically left to right, you can trick your brain. That's the best thing about the brain. It adjusts. You can basically talk about it in reverse. Okay? If it's opening towards you, that's greater than. If it's opening away from you, that's less than. So that means we're dealing with numbers that are including -6, but greater, going all the way to positive infinity. Okay. Now, covering up this side. Notice I'm never covering up the variable. I'm always covering up the signage that goes with the previous one. So now this one's a little easy for us to understand. We'll have to flip it, right? So we have x is less than -3. Open or closed? Put that in the chat. Open or closed? Yes, try gal. It was closed because it was equal to. Good job. Furball, yes. Irvin, yes. Big Al, yes. Wendy, yes. I don't know me. You don't know me. Yes. Jumpin' Jan, yes. Janice, yes. Marvelly, yes. User 7824 and all of that, yes. It's going to be open. Reason why? It does not have a line underneath it. Now it's saying x is less than -3. So that means -3 has to be greater than the unknown x's. So that means I should be shading everything all the way to -infinity. What do you notice? What do you notice? Thanks so much for the follows, everyone. I appreciate that. What do we notice? Yes, Erwin. Yes, Jan. Okay. The whole thing. Okay, following the overlap. Yes, Trigal. Okay, furball, the overlap. Yes, the shade, the overlap. Yes. Yes, 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 and yes. Okay? So basically they're saying that right here in between, this is where you can find the numbers that's going to make your inequalities a true statement. That's why you do inequalities. You want to see what's going to make it a true statement. Okay, it might be one number, it might be two numbers, it might be tons of numbers. But all I can tell you, for me personally, I'm lazy. I am not going to sit here and be like, all right, I'm going to start at -3, but it doesn't include -3. So I got -2. No. There's numbers in between -3 and -2. So we're talking about -2.99999, -2.9999999, -2. Right. We're not doing all that. No, that's why you do the shading. You're doing the shading because you're telling them, hey, all those numbers, not just the whole numbers, also those fractions, also those decimals that fall in between here and include -6 is going to make this into a true statement. All right. Well, thank you. Just shows the answers. I know, I hate that. Teresa, I hate that. Let's do a little self-discovery. Now, we're not completely out the fence. That's how we do it for the inequalities. Now, if I'm doing it for the interval notation, my lowest number is -6. My highest number is -3. Now, for the -6, I had a line underneath. So I'm creating a bracket because it's including the -6. But for the -3, there's no line underneath. So it's time for the stretchy pants for Thanksgiving and Christmas and my birthday and yeah, all that. Almost every holiday, we're whipping out the stretchy pants, okay? All right. So since it's not including the -3, we have our parenthesis. That's the interval notation. Okay. I know. It's all about the stretchy pants. But make it fashionable. You know, don't go in there with pajama bottoms. Like, come on. Zhuzh it up. Okay? Save the pajama bottoms and all that stuff for like Christmas Day. After Christmas Day, before like 12 o'clock, it's time for you to change. Get a shower. Do something. Get something together. It's the first 5 people to message what God did. Well, David, I appreciate you. But no, thank you. No, thank you here, please. All right. Now, who came late? Yeah, I'm about to, babes. I only got one hand. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, hell, ever since my little death threat, I'm just like, I'm just doing this for what? Because they're not going to do anything, unfortunately. All right. So that tells me that I must be famous. So you know you're famous when you got people just coming in here. All right. So let's try one more before I switch to the or statements. Okay, I really want you to get the and statements. But of course, I'm going to step it up a notch. All right, just keep on tapping. That would be lovely. We want to get as many people on their FYP as possible, because I know there's a lot of people that are struggling. So, people that are taking college algebra, almost forgot to ask. Starting next week, I am doing specialties. And when I say specialties, that ASVAB, listen up as well. GED, listen up as well. And right now, college algebra. Okay, I need to see how many people want to do the T's, but I want to see. Now, for people that are trying to do stuff for their praxis and they just need like renewals, we're going to have to personally chit chat to see which one will work. But right now, I'm thinking of those three. I'm thinking of GED, thinking of ASVAB, and ACCUPLACER. I mean, not ACCUPLACER. Got me twisted all over here. College algebra. Now, what I'm thinking about doing, let me back up. I need to basically raise more funds because I love coming on TikTok, but TikTok is not paying my mortgage. Okay. So unless you got room for me, I need some dinero. Okay. So the best thing that I can do is I can do specialties. So what we're doing is I'm going to teach for about 15 minutes, just a couple examples, maybe 20 at most. And then I'm going to do like a $5 pull in type thing or drop in. So I'm going to close the live and be able to continue on at Zoom for $5. We're going to be there for roughly like an hour, breaking down further, deeper stuff that you're going to see. Maybe some questions that is on the GED, not the exact GED, but a range of questions that's going to be closely resemble. Looking at some things that you want to ask questions on. You want to ask questions about the ASVAB, ask questions about the GED. But here's the thing, I'm still going to keep my free content days, but there are going to be certain days that I'm going to do that. I'm going to release that tomorrow. I thought I had time today, and you see what time it is, right? So that's what I'm thinking. Can I show the left side? Sure. Okay. Would you do that for praxis? I have to see. I have to see what the demand is, because right now I'm really going with the demand. And if people need further assistance and their like foundational skills is really struggling, like, because I've seen some people that are nurses or they're like practitioners right now trying to get their nurse's certificate, and it's tough because their schedules are so all out of whack. That's the reason why I'm like kind of hesitant. That I know I have my courses that you can do, and that's a self-paced course. And then when you have questions, we'll figure out a date and a time that we can talk and then break concepts down. And that's the whole thing about adult education. It's tough. It's really tough. And the reason why it's so tough is because we put other people's demands in front of our own. That's what we do. That's what we do as adults. But I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. I want to kind of put that in your head, because that will be starting this coming week, and it's just going to be drop-ins. Okay, even with college algebra, like, okay, I have a question on this, but how to submit your questions so we're not just bombarding me with like 28 different concepts. And I do not do pre-calculus during these drop-ins, and I do not do geometry. Okay, because a lot of people are doing their constructions now, and it's really tough to do constructions online. All right, so, okay, here we go. Come up with a price to study individually. No need to be selfish, but I need oh yeah, I have a price. I think I messaged you today. I thought I did. Didn't I message you today? If I didn't, I apologize. Let me check obviously I'm talking into my phone. Let me check my phone. Hello, the phone is like right here. All right. Okay. And you emailed me? What is your actual name, Caribbean Queen? Okay, and Bree's got this. All right. And you emailed me? I'll have to double check. Okay, so like I said before, let's get with this. You got to work from the inside out. So let me cover these two up. So the main goal is to get our variable by itself. So a lot of people are like, all right, cool, let me just divide both sides by 2. No. We need to isolate that 2n. Okay, so think of it. You're in a party. It's you and your boo. Then here comes this other person trying to interrupt the conversation. Y'all having a good old time. But this person trying to bring on their positivity. A little too happy. Just too happy. And then what you have to do, you got to be negative. Get away from us. We're good. We don't want anything. So if I subtract 8 here, that means I have to subtract 8 here as well as over here. Okay, so whatever you do in the middle, you do on the ends. Okay, so 8 minus 8 will give us 0, but we don't need the 0 because we still have the 2n. Okay, so we're just bringing down the 2n. We subtracted, so we don't do anything with the inequalities. They come on down. And here's a little helpful hint. Your inequality signs always go in the same direction. They never, like one's going to the left, another one's going to the right, automatically undefined. Okay, right off the jump. They always go in the same direction. So over here, 18 minus 8, we get 10. And 10 minus 8, we get 2. All right, so right here in the middle, that's kind of hard to do, we have 2n. So that means we want to divide by 2. And if I divide the center by 2, that means I divide my ends by 2. Okay. So Falcon Boy is saying 1 is less than... What's missing, Falcon Boy? Something missing. Very close. Numbers-wise, you're good. Check your signs for a second. Okay. All right. So now, 2 divided by 2, that gives me 1n, or we can just simply say n. So now 2 divided by 2, that'll give us our 1. I know it's hard to type it. It's really hard to type it. Then we have 10 divided by 2. That does give us our 5. And since we divided by a positive 2, my inequalities do not need to change their direction. So it's just less than or equal to n and less than 5. I know, and there's times I have to remember it's not easy because most boards and everything is not really designed for us math people. All right. So if we're here to graph, we have our 1 and we have our 5. Okay. On the 1, open or closed? Open or closed on the 1? Good. We got our closed, Jan, closed. You don't know me. Furbaugh, closed. Kai, closed. Big Al, closed. Trap, closed. Bama, closed. Marbelli, closed. Kobani, Mommy, closed. Janice. What is that, Janice? That's a C. Okay. I was like, wait, V? My mind just went like, what? Okay, so that's closed. Okay, user 5166, closed. Oh, wait, sorry. Marby 109, sharing live. Thank you. N saying closed. Good. All right. User 0889 saying open. Now careful, when there's a line underneath, it's closed. But for the 5, there's no line underneath, so that's open. Where do you think I'm going to shade? Math booster medication. Why do you want a math booster medication? That's our society. We want everything fast and furious. Do we still have those movies? Are we done with them yet? No? Okay. Ooh, close to the right. Okay, so this one will be close to the right. This one will be open to the left. So basically our shading is going to be in the middle. Because 1 is less than or equal to n, that means n has to be greater than or equal to 1. Greater than, we're going this way. This is saying n is less than 5. So if I cover that up, it says n is less than 5. Here's 5, and in which way I'll shade. So here's the secret, just in case you haven't figured it out. Your and statements will always meet in the middle. Like there's a meeting in the ladies' room. Be back real soon. So here are all of them. Have you noticed? All the ones that we just did, all the shading is always in the middle. So that's something to kind of remember when you see it as a multiple choice question on the GED, ASVAB, ACCUPLACER, any of these lovely tests. If you see a compound as an and statement and you see one shading going left, one shading going right, whatever, and they're not doing anything in the middle, that's how you can do the process of elimination. That means you're looking for shading in the middle, and you're looking for these two numbers to be represented, and you're looking at if it's open or closed. Okay, if there's a line underneath, it's going to be closed. If there's no line underneath, it's going to be open. So sometimes when you look at some of these test questions, you do not have to break out into a sweat to solve them, because they're giving you little mini cues, just little clues that's happening around. Okay? Can you write that under it? Can I write what under it? I'm working on it. Okay, I'm glad that you're working on it. I'm doing my homework, and this has been helpful. Awesome, good. Glad I can be helpful. And Sherry, thank you for the love you so much. Back at you. About the N. Okay, I only remember what I said about the N. Tutor you, please? Yes. Come on in. Okay. I'm not cheap, though. I'm just going to let you know that right here, right now. Okay. Okay. If the line is under the sign. Oh, okay. All right. Hey, test or test square. Welcome in. Okay. If the line is under, it's going to be closed. If there is no line under, it's going to be open. And when you get an and statement like this, it always has the shading in the middle. Okay? It always has a shading in the middle. It will never venture to anything else. Okay? All right. How are we feeling? Okay, people that are just coming in, welcome in. Okay, we're doing compound inequalities. Welcome in. Okay, we're doing compound inequalities. And like, we're not leaving yet. But if anything, you can go here, type in either my name, which is Audrey Codner, Codner, or you can do the ACG math. and then go ahead and do the following 5 things. There's like a playlist that says TikTok lives, and I have all my recordings of my lives since February 2nd. So anything that's dealing with GED, ASVAB, ACCUPLACER, basically Algebra 1 and some parts of Algebra 2 and some parts of college algebra, basically algebra, you can go and find it there. Okay, anything from simply adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, decimals, fractions, doing some percentages, looking at integers. Then we're going to 1-step, 2-step, multi-step equations. All of that is in there. Okay, all of it. Okay, so give you a place to find. Hello. Okay, how do I know when to use the parenthesis and when to use the bracket on the graph? Awesome question. All right, and that's the other thing that I forgot to do. Now, if you have a closed dot, that'll be the same. Let me put it underneath because I do not want to confuse people. If you want to graph as a interval notation, if it was a closed circle, it was included, that means you're using a bracket. If it was an open circle, we're using a parenthesis. Then I just shade everything in the middle. Because if I wanted to put this in interval notation, I have my 1, I have my 5. My 1 was included, so that's a bracket. And my 5 wasn't included. Oh, so sad. That's a parenthesis. Okay, Big Al. Why did we subtract the 8 instead of dividing it 2? Okay, remember, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. When you're solving, you're doing it in reverse. You always want to take care of your addition and subtraction so you can isolate that variable. Okay, so you want to get everything as best you can because right now that 2 is attached with that n. Okay, so we want to subtract, get rid of this 8, and then all of a sudden your boo was acting too much crazy. We got to divide that person out of their life. All of a sudden their true crazy personality came out. So divide them out of your life. Whatever you do here, you're going to do on both ends so we can get our n by itself. Okay, you're so welcome. Is that okay, Big Al? Yeah. So when you're simplifying, because I think a lot of you guys probably don't know that. So when you're doing, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally from left to right. Don't forget that part. When you're simplifying, you go this way. Okay, so when you're simplifying, you're going down. When you're solving, sometimes you will go up. Okay. Okay, not a problem. Okay, thanks for the follow. All right. Okay, so now we did and statements, and there are going to be times that they might actually have 2 inequalities and just have the word and separating the 2 inequalities. But I really think when you do that, you're just going to solve the inequalities just like we did earlier. Just solve them like 2 separate inequalities, okay? But now we're going to dive into or statements. Okay, so go ahead, keep on tapping, doing more problems like this. I'm going to go into the or statements. I might be able to pull one more of the and statements before we close, just to make sure. But remember, if you're just coming in, you can go here, give me some time to download because sometimes TikTok takes forever to download, especially on the weekends. So if you go here, and just type in this or my name, Audrey Codner, and you will see a playlist that says TikTok Lives. All of my lives from February 2nd is there. Okay, so you can see anything. It could be just the stuff that I did yesterday. That's already up. But there's also stuff like factoring and all those things, all that jam. Some geometry, some data analysis, some proportion, probability. Even standard deviation. I did that one time. It is all there. All right. Cool. You need help with inequalities and polynomials? Yep, they're in there. Well, we're doing the inequalities part. The polynomials, you can see, I do adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. Dividing polynomials with long division or synthetic. So they're all in here. Hey, Netta. I'm doing better. I feel like when I come on live, you guys make me happy. Okay, you're so welcome. All right, let me... I wrote down the wrong one. All right, I'll just make some room for that. We'll come back to this one. So don't do this one yet, because this is an and statement one. I really want to do some or statements. But we will come back to this one. So pretend that didn't show up. that was nowhere near. Okay, here we go. So negative 6x plus 6 is greater than negative 24. So hopefully you guys see how I break things down. I mean, to be honest with you, business-wise, this is why I come on TikTok. That you have someone that can break down these concepts step by step and hopefully put it in a way that you'll understand. I guess you can say I'm a teacher translator. And I know there's a lot of teachers that come on here and they're like, well, you should be doing this and you should be telling them about that. And I'm like, I know, but right now their brains is, how do I solve this? And this is what I do. Okay, sometimes we like that. Thinking something else, inequalities. Two intervals is confusing. Okay. Yeah, you should be able to contact me. If you go to that Service Plus, there's like a button at the very bottom that says Service Plus. Click on that and you should be able to message me. Okay. All right. Yo, what's up, George? Jose, what's going on? All right, so let's take this one step at a time. As you can see, we have two different inequalities. Okay, let's cover up this bad boy and focus our attention on one. So we have negative 6x plus 6 is greater than negative 24. So we want to solve for x. So right now, it's you and your boo. Here comes this positive, happy person, and they're just messing things up. So you always want to do the opposite, the inverse. So I'm subtracting 6 on both sides. Positive 6 minus 6 will give me 0. But all I have to do is bring down my negative 6x. Since I just subtract, my inequality sign is still the same. So negative 24 minus 6, this will give me a negative 30. So from here, we're trying to get x by itself. So that means I need to divide both sides by negative 6. Okay, and I'm seeing it. Excellent job, people. Because since we're dividing by a negative 6, okay, I can bring down my x, but my inequality sign is going to change direction. Because right here, I divided by a negative 6. So now negative 30 divided by negative 6, that gives me a positive 5. Okay, good. Hey, princess. Okay. Why does it flip? Because if we keep it, if we don't negate it, and you try to pick, let's say you don't flip this, then you get x is greater than 5, right? If I pick a number greater than 5, let's say, I don't know, let's say 10 for some crazy reason. If I plug 10 back up and for my x, negative 6 times 10 will give me negative 60. Negative 60 plus 4 gives me a negative 54. Now, is negative 54 greater than negative 24? Is that a true statement? Negative 54, is that bigger or greater than a negative 24? Okay, see or no? Yes or no? Negative 54, is that bigger than negative 24? No. Exactly. That's why we changed the direction of the sign. So if I pick any number that's greater than 5, it's going to give me a false statement. So we flip it so we can make sure we get numbers that's going to give me a true statement. Let's say x is less than 5. Let's be easy. Let's say 0, right? So negative 6 times 0 will give me 0. Then what's left is 0 plus 6, which gives me 6. Is 6 greater than negative 24? Oh, yes. Having $6 in your account is better than having negative 24 in your account. I will take that each and every day. Okay? It's a blessing, right? So that's giving me a true statement. That's the reason why you're flipping the direction of the sign. So you can make sure you get the right numbers. Then when you plug it back into the original, you will get a true statement. Okay? Does that make sense now? Yep, only when you divide by a negative number, that's when you flip it. So how many solutions would this have? Oh, infinite. Almost anything from 5, but not including 5, all the way to negative infinity. If you want to count those, have fun, babe. Definitely not me. That's why we do the shading. Okay? Knock yourself out, man. I know it's Saturday night, but I'm not that damn bored. All right? Okay, so now we got this one over here. So we're going to cover this up. Now we're going to do the solving of this inequality. So negative 3 plus x is greater than or equal to 7. Okay, exactly, Pat. So what do we need to do so we can get x by itself? Okay. So Falcon Boy 2K saying add 3. We're going to add 3 to both sides. Jump again, add 3, subtract 3. Careful. Remember, you always want to do the inverse. Its signage is always to the left. Okay? We don't have to switch the x into negative 3. We don't have to. That's too much work. You're doing too much. We want to isolate the variable. We don't want to make it dizzy. Okay, so we want to isolate that. So this plus sign is attached to the x. This minus sign or the negative is attached to the 3. So we want to do the inverse. So we want to add 3 to both sides of the inequality. So -3 plus 3 will give me 0, but on that same side of the inequality, we still have an x. And then 7 plus 3, that gives me 10. And since all we did was add the 3, we keep the inequality. Okay, yeah, good job, Jessica. There we go. All right, so this is an or statement. Now, when it comes to or statements, one or the other needs to be true. Okay, one or the other, hence the name or. Now, an and statement, that means it has to be the same numbers that's going to work for both inequalities. Okay, that's what an and statement is. It has to work for both of them. But for an or statement, it has to work for at least one. So, if I were to graph it, which we're about to do, you always put your lowest one. So here's my 5. Here's my 10. I don't know why I made it so big. Now, on the 5, open or closed? Open or close? Yep, we always do the inverse. I have a mind. Understands math. Oh. Yeah, you can call me a witch. My students used to call me a witch. Maybe not for this precedence, but you know. So I got combinations of open and a couple closed. Take a look. Does it have a line underneath? If it doesn't have a line underneath, it's going to be open. Open sesame. Good. Now for the x is greater than or equal to 10. Okay. What is that? FitBev is saying my close. Bama is saying close. There we go. Yeah, open for this one. But since there is a line underneath, yes, guys, it's going to be closed. Good, Millie. I love that. Okay, so it will be closed. Now, let's not assume, oh, we could shade right in the middle. Remember they used to have that in Durachet Park when the guy like put the virus in the thing? He's like, Okay, so, This is not an and statement. Now we have to look at the direction of everything. So we're saying x is less than 5. Okay, so here's 5, and we're dealing with numbers that's less than it. So that means we're going to the left. Here, it's saying x is greater than or equal to 10. Well, here's where it's equal to 10, and we're doing greater than. Okay? So basically, it's like me and my ex, or many exes, when we're ready to go. Splitsville. One's going one way, one's going another way. Okay? One's heading to negative infinity, and the other one's heading to positive infinity. Okay? So sometimes or statements do funky things when it comes to their graph. Sometimes they will go in two separate ways. Sometimes they will overlap going in one direction or the other direction. Okay? So it's kind of like you're really going to have to go with the direction of the inequalities. All right? I know. Story of my life, right? Okay? So if you were to do this, it's going to be tough for you as an interval notation. We can't just have it as 5 and 10 because it's not meeting in the middle. This is where it's going to be a little different. Okay, ready? Ready to hold your breath? All right. So we have to put it in pieces because we got a nice huge gap right in between. Okay? Okay, just like the gap between one of my ex's teeth. I know I shouldn't have gone that low. But we're not together no more. He got a big ass gap between his teeth. And so we have going, and that's perfectly fine. That's his life. I tried to help, but here we are. So we need to not include the gap. When you go from 5 to 10 and you do the brackets like we've been doing, like these, this is when you're telling me that, okay, everything in between -6 and -3, that's what's happening here. But we got a gap, okay? We got another gap. So we have to split this up. Ready? Okay, be patient. If I were to make this as an interval, I put my lowest number. My lowest number is -infinity. My highest number with this is a +5. We all know that infinities always have a parenthesis, and this 5, since it's not included, that also has a parenthesis. Okay, that's that part. Now, for this part. So we start, my lowest number is 10. My highest number is +infinity. Infinity always get a parenthesis. Now, this is how we put the gap. Ready? This is how we're going to get the gap. We are going to put a U for the word union. I'm trying to remember if this was a closed thing. There is a rule. There is a rule. I'm going to have to check on my rule. I think I can put a bracket here and then close it. But I think it should be a parenthesis. I forgot to look that up. All of a sudden, I just have a brain fart. But I definitely know in order to represent this gap in between, we use a capital, not a U with like a little tick on the top. It's just like a nice little U shape, meaning union. So that means I can go from -infinity to 5, skip, go to 10, all the way to +infinity. Okay. Yeah, that's why it should be because of this, but I think because of the union, that's what I have to look up. So don't quote me on that part. But the union, yes, quote me on that. But this bracket being here, don't quote me on that. I'll have to take a look at that, and I will correct it. Okay, yep, good. All right. Okay, so anytime there's a gap, we have to put that union. All right, so let's try another or. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you guys solve it, and then we can graph it together. Okay? Yeah, of course I got you, Millie. Don't you worry, Millie. I got you. All right. So 4.4x less than -4. 1 minus 10x less than or equal to -99. Okay, so I'm going to leave you alone to solve for both inequalities. Do not put your answer in the chat. Don't put it in there. Or if anything, you can type it, but don't hit send. Okay, hold it until I tell you. I want to give everybody a chance to do the work. Okay, so go ahead and give it a try. Okay, 1 more minute. Okay, Mrs. Hanks, just type it in, but don't hit send yet. Okay, type it in, because as soon as I say flash up, go ahead and hit send, but not yet. Okay, good. Same thing, put your numbers, put your answers in, but don't hit send yet. Okay. All right, Caribbean Queen, put your answers in. About to, okay, got 10 seconds left. All right, put your answers in. Bama couldn't wait. It's like, bam. Okay, Bama said -2 or 10. Jan says x is greater than -2, x is greater than or equal to -10. We have 1 is less than -4, or 1 is less than -99. We have 814. We have x is less than -x, and x is greater than or equal to 10. We have x is less than -2, and x is greater than or equal to 10. No worries. No, don't apologize, because as soon as I said it, you flashed it up, so you're fine. Okay, Big Al saying x is greater than -2. And we have greater than or equal to 10. X is greater than 2. X is less than or equal to x, and x is less than or equal to 10. Okay, we got our -2. It's important to find the domain because it shows what can be continuous. Yes. So we have, that's why we need to make sure we get this down. So we have x is greater than -2, and is that -x is less than or -10? Jensen, x is less than -2. Made a mistake. Okay. Left out inequality sign. All right. There we go. Okay. So here's my thing, guys. Don't let speed. I know when you're taking these type of exams, yes, it is timed. But 1 minute and 12 seconds is not equivalent to 5 seconds. Okay? So sometimes you're like, oh God, I gotta hurry up, I gotta do this, I gotta do it. And then you're rushing so much that you're skipping things and we're forgetting things. Okay? This is the time to learn it. This is the time to take your time to learn it and to process. Okay? Hey, deuces. Calculations or something? Yeah, pretty much. All right. You're on the train, so I can't solve. All right, no problem. But you're listening. I appreciate it. You were nervous? Oh, you don't have to be nervous. All right. So let's take a look. First things first. I'm the realist. Okay. So, sorry. Gen X trying to be cool. Okay, so let's do one side at a time. So we want to get our 4x by itself. So I'm looking to move this 4. So since it is a positive 4, I have to do the inverse, which is minus 4. So 4 minus 4, that will keep my 4x. And since we just subtract, we still keep that less than. But negative 4 minus 4, since they both are negative, my answer is still going to be negative, and we're adding. So we got a negative 8. So now we need to divide both sides by 4. So 4 divided by 4, again, gives me an x. And since I divide it by a positive 4, my inequality stays exactly the same. And then we have negative 8 divided by 4 gives me negative 2. So that takes care of this side. Okay? No, don't worry about you being so slow. Stop. And get confused. Exactly. Okay. How do you put... Yeah, I'm not sure. How do you guys put your infinity symbol in the chat? That part I don't know. Okay, you're writing it down? Okay. What kind of grade is this? This, Scotty, is Algebra 1. Okay, so this is what it comes down to. You are trying, how should I put it? You're trying to get it, but you don't want people to think that you need extra time to process it. Guys, you are no longer in middle school. Okay? This is an area which I want you to just breathe. Because a chaotic mind cannot learn. Okay? Your chaotic mind cannot learn. You got this. All right? Regardless if you're trying to do it to pass a class or pass a test, right now you have to say to yourself, I don't need them, they need me. So let me do this favor for them and take this test. That's the mindset you need to have, okay? So now we're coming to the other one. So let me cover that up and we're going to focus on this one. Make it a little bit bigger. Okay, a lot bigger. Okay. So now we want to isolate this negative 10x. So that means this 1 needs to come to the other side. So we're going to subtract 1, not add 1. That minus sign is attached to this 10. So 1 minus 1 cancels out, and I can bring down my negative 10x. Since we subtract, my inequality stays exactly the same. And then negative 99 minus 1 gives me a negative 100. So now from here, I need to divide by negative 10. Okay, everybody heard what I said? Divide by negative 10. So that means, let me bring down my x. I need to change my inequality sign because I divided by a negative 10. So it's greater than or equal to. Negative divided by negative will be a positive, and 100 divided by 10 is 10. Not different from algebra. It's not. Okay. So don't forget we got our greater than or equal to. And I know typing in the equal to is tough. That's why I just always say or equals. Okay. Questions on where this came from. Okay. Are we good? If you didn't get it, do you see where your error came from? Yes, okay. Okay. The greater than 10, yes. Because we had to flip it. Anytime we divide by a negative number, we change the direction of the inequality symbol. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So now, here we go with our line. We write down our lowest number, which is the -2. Then our next number, which is a 10. On the -2, open or closed? Okay. So Christy was a -10. Get my symbols correct. Okay. All right. So we got open, we got closed. We got open, open, close, close, open, open, close, open, 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 open. I feel like I'm doing a song. Open, open, close, open, open, close, close, open, 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 close. Remix. Okay, so there's no line underneath, so it's going to be open. All right, so x is less than -2. So less than goes all the way down to -infinity. Then over here on the 10, open or closed? Someone's mom's here? What's going on? Okay, so we got close, 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 close. Yeah, this is the remix I like. Yes, all that. Why did you switch the sign? Because you divided by a negative number. Anytime you divide by a negative number, the inequality sign changes. Every time. Okay? Yes. So we got our closed. And it's saying x is greater than 10, so that means we are going all the way to positive infinity. Okay. Mom! I was like, I felt like I heard it from here. Okay. 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 No. So just because the 8 is negative, that doesn't change the sign. It's your act of multiplying or dividing. You divided by a positive number, so that's why that didn't change. Here, you divided by a negative number. That's why it changed. Not the result. What are you doing? What are you multiplying by? Okay, this is Algebra 1. But what we're doing is solving compound inequalities. Okay. Hey, Deja. Welcome back. Okay, so did you get a princess? All right. You're so welcome. So how can you multiply a negative to a positive? You just do. Change the sign. It's always going to be negative. Now, if I want to put this in interval notation, remember, we're taking it step by step. So this one, I write my smallest. So my smallest number is -infinity. In this interval, my largest number is a -2. And they both have parentheses. Over here, my lowest number is a 10. And it goes all the way to positive infinity. And this has a parenthesis, this has a bracket. And what is representing that gap in between is a union sign. Okay? That's how you will represent it as an interval when it's an or statement. And they're going in two separate directions. The union, you're just basically saying, okay, you're going from negative infinity, stopping at -2. Take a jump, like a Mario brother, okay? And then you go from 10 all the way to positive infinity. Sorry, I did a little hiccup in your ear. Didn't mean to do that. Okay. Yep, so it's like a little U. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So not only are you learning about compound, one's an and, one's an or, but you're also learning about the interval notation when there's a jump and when there isn't. This is awesome. Okay. All right. So here's my thing. Here's an and statement. Let's see. Let me see if I can shrink it down a little bit. This is the one that I was copying earlier. Let's see if you guys can do this one. Let me cover all of this so it won't distract you. So now you can just focus on that. Yep, trying to union that together. There you go. So how do we know how to order the pairs? It's always your lowest and your highest. Your lowest always comes first in the pairs. When there's a gap, you're not including the gap. You're looking at the pairs. Okay, awesome. Is that a 39? Yes, it is. Yep, this is a 39. You coming at me with my nines there? And these are P's. I don't know why I did a little tick mark with that one, but hey, okay. No, I'm just teasing. Yeah, sometimes my handwriting can be a little rough. Or sometimes I don't even put spacing. That's always a fun thing. Or sometimes I don't even put spacing. That's always a fun thing. Okay. Let's solve this one. It is very similar like the other ones. Solve it one at a time. Solve this one and then cover up and solve the other one. Okay, you're done? Okay. You don't know me. Take a look at your last one. I agree with the flip. There's something missing. Marvelly, good. Miss Hanks is your first one. Take a double look. You got it? Okay. There you go. Miss Hanks, take a look at your... No, I lied. Hold on. I'm looking at it wrong. I'm sorry. No, you're good. You're good. You're good, Miss Hanks. I'm sorry. I apologize. There you go, Jan. Okay. Oh, yeah. I totally get it, Big Al. Fed my babes a little earlier. All right, I'll catch you tomorrow at 7 p.m. Okay. That's all right. Okay. Chobani. Very close. It's that last one. The first one looks good. It's that last part. All right. Irvin. Yep. So if you guys haven't put your answers up, okay, Irvin, there's something missing with your last one. There you go, Marbelli. Nice, Marbelli. There we go. There we go. Okay. No, thank you. Thank you for the efforts. Love it, guys. All right. So I know there's some people that are still calculating, but let me get with the first one, and then we can get the next. So, first one, I'm going to ignore this side. So, first, I'm going to add 10 to both sides. Negative 10 plus 10, they cancel out. So that gives me 7p is less than 21. Divide both sides by 7. And then we have our p is less than 3. Okay, yay. And then we have our p is less than 3. Okay, yay. Then we come to the other side. We subtract our 7. Let's change colors with this one. Sorry. So we have negative 8p is less than 32. Then we're dividing by a negative 8 on both sides. So we have our p, and since we divided by a negative, my inequality flips from less than to greater than. Then we have 32 divided by negative 8. A positive divided by a negative will give me a negative. Okay. So this is an and statement because they told us the word and. So let's see. My lowest number is not going to be 3. Okay. What's my lowest number? Okay. What's my lowest number? They kind of did a little twist and shake right here. Okay. Good. So it's negative 4. Negative 4 is what should come here. Positive 3 should come here. Okay, see how that kind of flipped a little bit? So this is saying P is greater than negative 4. So it's going to be an open circle. And it's greater than, that means we're shading this way. Whereas This is saying P is less than 3. And that's also an open circle. And you would normally shade this way. So what they have in common is what's right smack in the middle. That's an and statement. So we do have to be careful after we solve. Take a look to see what's going to be to the left and what's going to be to the right. Okay. Questions. Good. Yay. I'm all over like water. Okay. So yes, we got open circles for both of them. Good. Okay. Thanks so much for the follow. All right. Okay. How are we feeling? Okay. He needs work. Okay. But it takes time. Okay. It takes time. So it takes time. It takes practice. And you will get it. You're not going to get it overnight. Okay. You're just not. So, as I have mentioned, next week, starting next week, not on Sunday, but like Monday on, there are going to be certain days that I'm going to have a full session like this. And there's going to be some days that I'm going to do just a couple minutes here. And then I'm doing a deeper dive off on Zoom. Okay. And that's going to be like a $5 pullout type thing. So if you want to go deeper, and what I'm doing is I'm going deeper with one day will be GED. Another day it will be ASVAB, and another day I'm thinking about college algebra. Okay. So now for people that are doing college algebra and you want to do a small group setting, remember it's just going to be a $5 drop-in type thing. But I will have rules and boundaries, especially for the college algebra, because I know some teachers are going to be at certain parts. Some people are going to be at one spot. Some people are going to be at another spot. And it's not like, oh, or we can go over my homework. Oh, you can go over my homework. And everyone's homework is completely different. Okay, so we're going to have to think that all the way through. But the ASVAB, I'm basically doing a deeper dive, especially through that book, ASVAB for Dummies. I hate the name of the book, but the book is just so much on point with the test. Okay, so I'm trying to get you guys ready. Okay, so I'm gonna let you guys know which day is which. Okay, I'm actually gonna post it on my profile. You'll actually see what days and what times and all that stuff. And I know everyone, especially, there's going to be some things that might be multiple ones on a Saturday or a Sunday, okay? But I will try. It's going to be like one of my late night 9:30 ones might have to take the place of one of my fulls. But I'm going to try to keep 4 of my free ones. But then we're going to have 3 of those ones that we're going to have to do the paid. I have to do something, people. I'm sorry. I tried to do the TikTok gifts and all that, but the gifts do not pay mortgage. Doesn't even pay like my cheapest or my lowest bill. And I have to do something. If not, I'll probably have to stop doing this altogether and then have to do some other venture. And I don't want to do that because a lot of you guys are getting things from this. Not sure if I told you that one of you guys actually got into a program for the University of Maryland, was trying to get that. Another person got their GED a couple days ago. Another person got their ASVAB score that they didn't think they can get, but they got more. So I don't know. I'm not saying that I'm the test whisperer, but I'm just saying that I just like to break concepts down that you can understand, that you can do well on your assessments. And I want you to do well. I really do. Okay? All right. So keep in mind, that's what we're going to be doing. How about the ACT? I might do the ACT prep. It depends on, I might have to do some polls to see who's going to want what. I know of college algebra because I keep seeing a lot of you guys saying, I got college algebra and I'm freaking out. And then sometimes you're like, is this on the ASVAB? Is this on the ASVAB? Is this on the ASVAB? So when I see a lot of those replies, I keep that in mind. And then, I know generally a lot of people are taking the GED and their TEAS test, but I need to know how many people, okay? Because it might get to the point where, depending on the level that you're at, I might have to recommend you to take my course, which will hit on all the basic stuff. So we're just going to have to take it and run it from there. But don't say, oh yeah, I really want this, and then you don't show up, because this takes time and energy. It does, but I'll handle that. All right, back to the pose. If you do practice middle school, or do you have a self-paced for that? I do have a self-paced for a lot of the foundations of algebra. And actually, that's what I should show you. Let me show you what's in my course, because some of you guys might be like, and I know it's really small, but I'm going to try to zoom in because I tried to take that into, whoa, hello. Really? Go away. There we go. All right, so I'm not sure if you guys can see this. Oh, you can, a little bit. All right, so basically, this is my whole course. Yeah, I'm still like here. So roughly there are 16 sections. Okay, so there's 16 sections. So you have everything dealing with the number, the types of numbers, the operation, okay, adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, integers, fractions, okay, decimals, exponents, square roots, coordinate plane, okay, anything dealing with graphing. Then you have, let me come to this side. Then you have like your functions, your greatest common factor. We've talked about that. Your least common multiple. We've talked about that. Your factors, looking at the divisibility test. How do you know which is your divisibility test? Your scientific notation, your ratios and proportions. We did a few of those. Then we have order of operations, solving proportions, percents to decimals, decimals to fractions, all of that. Your famous solving percentage word problems, that's in there. Okay, do you have fractions for dummies? Fractions are in there. That was the first beginning. And no, you're not a dummy. Unless you're from Baltimore, and that's what we just say. I don't know when they started calling people dummy. I hate it when they did that in the class. One-step equations, one-step adding, subtracting, two-step equations. And we did a little bit of that before. Now, with all these videos, you have some of the lectures, and it's me doing the lectures. You see how I talk. So most of these videos are 20 minutes long. You can fast forward. It gives you a section to practice. You can pause the video, try to do the problem yourself, then hit play and to see if I got the same answer as you did, right? So you got your solving equations, distributive properties. We have absolute values. Okay, number line, multi-step equation, graphing lines, graphing linear equations with the x-intercepts, looking at slope. This is huge, especially if you guys are taking your GED ASVAB. This is huge. GED, this is a 4-point question. Remember, your questions range from 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is a 4-point question. Parallel and perpendicular lines. That's a 4-point question. Okay, going from standard form to slope-intercept form, probably a 3-point question. But determining your slope-intercept algebraically, graphically, that's a 3-point question. Anything with the slope-intercept form, that's a 4-point question. Point slope, that's a 4-point question. And notice I give quizzes. so you can test yourself. Are you on the right track? If not, then you have to say, hey, let me get in touch with Miss Audrey and let me see if I can do one of those sessions. If you purchase the course, you'll get a discount on the session. Okay, properties of inequalities. We just kind of went through that. More inequalities, adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, multi-step. Oh, look here, complex inequalities. Okay, I'm still going. I'm not even halfway through the packet. There's like 107 different videos. Each of these have practice sheets with them. So you can do, all you have to do is either download it, or you can just upload it on your computer and just do it on a separate sheet of paper. Or maybe you might even do it on one of my math notebooks if you want to purchase that, okay? So the idea, okay? I'm going to tell you in a moment where they're located. So basically, this is all here. Polynomials, who asked me? Are you guys still here? Okay. Are you guys still here? Okay. I don't know. I got booted out somewhere. So anyway. So I think it booted me out on my computer. But we have inequalities, system inequalities. Someone asked me about polynomials. Okay, polynomials, multiplying, dividing, all of these. We have some fractions. We have factoring, all the factoring, the rational functions, multiplying, dividing, adding, subtracting fractions with like terms. Who asked me about fractions? Okay. How did you drop everything in one click? Oh, sorry. Wrong thing. I was like, say what? So all these fractions, everything that dealt with fractions is here. Radicals, if anything that's dealing with the radicals, rationalize the denominator, Pythagorean theorem, distance formula, midpoint formula. Okay, I know, it's all crazy, all of this. Then we have complex functions, adding, subtracting functions, and then also a little bit of geometry, classifying triangles. Okay, some plane figures, Pythagorean theorems, relationships. Sorry, we're getting close to the end. See, that's what I'm saying. Like perimeter, area, circumference, volume, surface area, complex, table and pictograms. Okay, bar. Now we're going to the statistics part of it. Okay, measures essential tendency, all of that. Phew. Okay, so it's easy for me to say I have a course, but now you get to see what the course is. So where you can purchase, so many pages. Okay, so if you go here, okay, if you go here, and actually, if you go, I hate to say it, but let's see if it works. If you go to my bio, it's the clickable link. You actually will see this inside my bio, okay? So you just go there, click on that, bada boom, bada bing, you'll get there. Okay, you'll actually scroll down and you'll see the courses. As I have courses for GED, for the ASVAB, ACCUPLACER. Now, if you're doing T's, you can go to the Foundations of Algebra 1. Okay, so if you're going with the T's. Yep, covers everything. All right, so if you go there, go ahead, and it's self-paced. You figure out the pace that you want to go on, and especially I'm always noticing with nurses and also with teachers, if you're just doing some basic math skills and you need those assistants, or you're like, you know what, I do not remember how to do this, or what is this type of number and everything. Do the course. My suggestion is to do the course. Once you do the course, and the course itself costs $147, you do the course. If you get stuck, if enough people ask, like, hey, I'm a little stuck, is there like an hour, like a office hour that you have? I can develop an office hour. But right now, I don't want to develop it because a lot of people are not involved in it. So if I can use that as a coaching type time, I will do so. Okay. All right. So if you get stuck, okay, and again, if you guys like my notebooks that I have, sorry, now I got like papers everywhere. This is papers everywhere. Okay, so if you want with the courses, you can go with the courses. If you like the notebooks that I'm doing, so here's my lovely little notebook. Here's the work that we were doing a couple days ago. And this is what we did today. If you like the organization of it with the formulas and then the steps, and then you have extra room on the other side, on the grid side, there's 100 of these pages. But what is so effective with this is the resource pages that's in the very back. You have your factor sheet, which goes from 1 to 200. It will help you with your multiplication tables, trying to find your factors to break down rules, also to break down radicals. You also have a section for the most famous or popular words used in most word problems and what operation they represent. And you have your list of your squares, your square roots, and your cubes and cube roots, as well as the rules of integers, just so we can keep up with that. Inequalities, this looks familiar. And interval notation, that looks familiar. Then we have order of operations, properties of exponents, the decimal operation with add, subtract, multiply, divide. The same when someone asked about fractions, the same way when you're doing those operations with fractions. Then we go from percent. It gives you the rules. It gives you the rules for the place values. It gives you the measures of central tendencies, your mean, your median, your mode, also to cover your distance. Then you have your arithmetic and your geometric sequences. Then you have your system of equations, systems of inequalities, all the things that you need for basically Algebra 1. So if you are interested in those, here's the area and perimeter, some from Algebra to Algebra 1, as well as your conversion table. Okay, so you have all your notes and you have your resources all in one book. Okay, so you can get this, which I do have a sale right now. Books by Audrey Codner. They're selling it for $10.29. They're usually like $22. Now, not only do I have this for Algebra 1, I also have books for my lefties. Same information, same stuff, but it's really designed for my left-handed family. Okay? Little dedication to my father that passed away, which is officially 9 years. Now, can we practice for free on that? On what? What do you mean, can you practice for free on that? Okay. Yep. So if you have anything for my lefties, you want to get those notebooks and you want to get it all nice, neat, and organized, you can do that. Now, if you just say, hey, Audrey, I just want your notes. Well, I have something called Audrey's Notes. It's a play on Cliff Notes. So what you do is you get a copy, a color copy of my notes that I have. And what happens, if you notice at the bottom, we have a QR code. Now this QR code, if you scan it, it will take you directly to the live that I did these notes on. So this will be like rational expressions with like denominators. And we did that May the 5th of this year. And then we have all these other ones. So if you're just like, you know what, I don't know which live goes where and how I can keep track, you can buy Audrey's Notes. Okay, so again, I got books 1 through 5 all ready to go. We are currently on book 6. Okay, so we're currently on book 6. So this is not going to be ready until the book is completed. And we got like, I want to say about a good couple of weeks. The way things have been going, maybe a good couple of weeks. And then we'll finish that up. And once this is done, I scan it and I make it into an Audrey's notes and I put it directly to here. But right now, all of my books, all of them, Audrey's notes, the math notebooks, are all 1029. Okay, not including tax and delivery, but they're all worth 1029. So my thing is that's a great deal because once October 1st kicks in, boom, that price is going right back up to my 21s, 27. Okay. Any questions? I don't know. I lost my laptop. I don't know why I can't see my live, but we're going to see if I can go back. It just like booted me out for some reason. Are you trying to say I'm not live? Am I not live? I did all this chatting. There it is. Okay, so all of my notebooks are 1029. The website that you have for the book is right here for the website of the book. Well, thank you, Princess Carla. I appreciate that. Can I put my Cash App on here? Sure. That's the back end. So another thing, if you got something from tonight's live and if you want to donate, I have my Cash App here, which is ACG Math 13. Or if you're just like, you know what, Audrey, I can't really give money, but I would love to get a Google review. Okay. So right now, I think I'm 17 away. I think that's what it is. So I'm 17 away from 100 reviews. And I think the more reviews that I get, the more that I'll get a lot of people coming in asking for tutoring. So if you want to do one of the two, I would greatly appreciate it. Even if it's just $1, that will help tremendously, like tremendously. So I think that's all of the stuff that I need to prostitute myself today. It's just like sometimes you just feel like you're just hustling, but you have to. But I don't feel like it's hustling. I want to give you something that is going to help you. So hopefully this is something that is beneficial for you. Does your course come with a video and lectures breaking everything down like you do here on the live? Oh, yes. I have done those videos, and I'm the type of person that will tell you to stop here and try this problem. The way that my videos is structured is after the first video, I have what's called an exit ticket at the end, and it's a question that you can do. And the very next video the first thing I do is go over that question. So it kind of keeps it in the loop. And then I give you small instructions. It's not a 5-minute video. It's a 20-minute video. It's ridiculous, but it's so informative, just like how I break things down here. That's the only way I know how to break things down. And I know I repeat myself several times because sometimes it takes people to register when you say it the second or the third time. So the first time they're just like, okay, she's speaking. The second time, I think I'm getting the information. And the third time they're like, oh, that's what she's trying to say. Okay, so that's why I repeat myself a lot, not because I have a kind of crazy disorder. Okay, good. Yeah, and there's also like practice sheets that's in there. There's like mini quizzes that you can take that's in there, and it comes with the answer key. So, have fun with it. Like, really, I think it's going to be a really good investment. And again, if you get stuck, you message me. I'll see if there's enough people that message. If not, we'll just do like a discounted tutoring session, and then we'll just take it from there. Okay. All right. Oh, thanks, Janice. Appreciate it. Okay. 'Cause you're that person. Yes. So this is why I feel like Okay, I'm working on like 4 hours of sleep because I'm always thinking like, what can I do to make people's lives easier? And I know it doesn't mean that to make my life easier, it means to make people's lives easier. Because the more people I can make happy, the better I feel. Just the selfishness to me. So one of the things I know is a lot of people are fearful of math, and I used to be that person. So I get it. When you see a fraction, you're like, oh, hell no. Word problem, oh, what is this? I'm not doing that. That's why I wanted to do those individual pullouts so I can do sample questions from ASVAB for Dummies, where I can do sample questions of GED practice, where I can do sample questions of what you're probably currently working on in college algebra, or maybe it might be a question that you have. So I can like do individual pullouts, but at the same time, welcome people in. If anyone, like say if I'm talking about GED, but maybe you're doing this in your classroom and you want assistance with it, go ahead and sign up for the $5 thing. Come on in. You know, I try not to have more than like 20 something people in there because I don't want it to be overbearing. I still want people to be able to speak their mind, where it makes it easier for you to speak on a Zoom call than it does here on TikTok, where you try to type everything out. It's easier to say, oh, it's X greater than or equal to 4, and then trying to figure out how to type the greater than or equal to symbol in the chat. Okay. Okay, well, thank you. Your 11th time attempting it? Let's go. Because you're going to pass it this time. Because I can tell you, like, what was the score? What was your score on the GED? How far away were you? Okay. All right. So here's my thing. I bet you it was the fractions. If not the fraction, it was the factoring that got you. Literally points away. Exactly. And I bet you it was probably a couple of those 4-point questions that either you skipped because you're like, I have no idea what this is. Or, yeah, I think it is going to be one of those. Like anything with slope or maybe even system of equations. Yep. Okay. And then with the anxiety, this is what I love to tell you guys. I know, and trust me, you're not the only one, because everyone. I had an amazing session today, and she was like, my anxiety is crazy. And I'm like, because here's the thing. You want to pass the test so badly that you put yourself in a state of panic. But you have to understand, you're trying to get your GED to get a better situation, maybe a better job, better whatever. But you have to understand that you have a lot of street knowledge. You have a lot of knowledge that you can't get in a book. And if you're trying to go into the military for the ASVAB, you got to understand the military. The enrollment of people going into the military has dropped dramatically. They need people. So you have to think of it this way. They need you more than you need them. Like they need you. Like you are like, how should I put it? It's almost like you're the baddest. I don't know what this kid, you know what I'm saying. You're the baddest when you walk into the room. Like no one else can touch you. Your hair is on fleek. Your nail is done. You're wearing a fly ass suit. Your dress is the one. You know that dress. You know that dress, right? And you know those pants, gentlemen. You know what you be doing, right? Right? And you walk into the room, no one can touch you. Your haircut is on fleek. Your nail, I can't believe I said on fleek, but here we are. Everything is done. And everybody's turning heads and want to know, who are you? How can I get to you? How can I get to that heart? And you just have to just pick whoever or whomever you want. You put yourself in that mindset that no one else can touch you. Whatever you say is golden, on point, and definitely something that will reach someone's heart. I'm telling you, You have to put yourself in that mindset that you need me, not I need you. So now let me just take this test just to shut you up, because I know I can do this job regardless of what piece of paper you give me. Sometimes that kind of works, right? Oh, sorry, I was preaching. I wasn't even looking at the thing. I get that way. Okay, if I can get through math without fractions, and here's my thing. There's no escaping fractions. Fractions is everywhere. If you're trying to cook, there's fractions. You're trying to get to a street, there's fractions. So it's like not leaving. Let's see how we can address it in a way that you can understand it. Let's put it in a way that we can break it down. I think that's what you need, because I was the same exact way. And it took practice. Same thing with graphing. If you know how to give directions, you know how to graph. Because that's basically what graphing is. It's giving directions. You're starting at one point, and then you're using your slope, your gradient, your rise over your run, your vector, your direction, your length, your positioning to tell people where to go. That's what you're doing on a graph. Trust me, after you see it, you're going to be like, oh, this is not that bad. Like, there you go. Which book of yours do you recommend for me to just practice for my benefit? Now, Sandra, what were you practicing on? What test? I'm sorry. Okay, you wait until you turn 50, decide to go to college. I'm proud of you. I want you to shake that. Just get rid of all that negativity. Look at all this knowledge that you are feeding into that classroom. Because there's a lot of people that don't know their ass from their elbows. I'm sorry, baby, that's an 8th grade that's listening. But you know that's true. And they're sitting in the classroom. And then all of a sudden, they're like, I don't know what I'm doing. And then because you are patient, because you're at the point where you're like, I'm not here to play nice with you guys. I'm here to get this education. I need y'all to hush that up. Boom. Instant respect. Even from the teacher, because sometimes the teacher is younger than 50 as well. Right? So you going in there with expertise. So show yourself off. Okay? All right, we're done with that. Yup, change that mindset, babe. Change that mindset. I see book 5 is created for praxis. Is it for middle school praxis? Yes, it's a combination of middle school stuff. Okay, because right now, if we're looking at Algebra 1, remember, a lot of our kids are taking Algebra 1 in middle school. So they're not just doing basic concepts anymore. Some of them are taking geometry. Oh, I know a kid that's in 8th grade that's taking Algebra 2. Whew. He's a handful, but that's what they do. Okay, so yeah, you can look at that. I would say, me personally, to practice up with the praxis, I would take the foundational course. I know you want to let me just take a book, and that's fine. But me personally, I would go right into the course if I was you. Okay, I'm not doing any tests. Oh, okay. Okay, then you got this. Yep. What book would you need for GED? Now, for you, for GED, I would get like the blank, because you'll have all the reference stuff. This is what you need with the reference stuff. But if you want to do practice and you want to invest, I would get the course. I know the course is probably not in your pay scale, but here's my thing. You're going to have to invest some way or another. It's either you're going to take the test and then all of a sudden you take it 3 times, then you got to wait so you can take it again. No one wants that. I want you to go sit down, take the test, do your best at it, and break it down. Okay? So if you haven't sat down and haven't done anything, like haven't taken any course, haven't gone anywhere to do any kind of GED prep, you want to take my course. And then plus, you got someone that can break it down for you as well. Okay? All right, and it is self-paced. Yeah. take the praxis and fail. But see, here's my thing. I took the praxis. I failed it 11 times. I took the praxis 11 times until I passed it. I know I would do better at it now than I did then, because I was still very green. Yeah. But if you want that determination, college is too expensive. Yup. Prep. Yup. Because if you're spending a lot of money on a class, and there's probably a couple people on here that's taking college algebra, and you sit in the class, that teacher is going, because he or she's trying to teach all of college algebra in about an 8 to 12 week span. You can't teach all of college algebra or just algebra in 12 weeks. It's impossible. And especially when you haven't seen this stuff since you were a fetus, come on. Your teacher is going to go fast because he or she has to cover a certain pace. But that doesn't work when you haven't been in school for a while. There needs to be like a specialized class for that, for people that need that extra time to let it marinate. But my thing is, hey, it's all about money. Because you're paying for a course that you're not getting credit for. So if you fail it and you try it again, hey, that's more money in their pockets. Because years ago, there was probably like 1 or 2 of those intermediate math courses. I remember they started with, man, I'm old. Because I remember when they first started with that at the community college. I think it was at CCBC Essex. They were the only ones that were holding, and it was like 3 of those classes. And then the following year, I remember it was like 3 or 4 pages, front and back, filled with those intermediate algebra classes. I don't know. Nope, they don't slow down at all. 4 weeks in a day. I know it feels like that. It feels like that. And that's not learning. And then you're already in a state of panic. So you're really not ready to receive information because you're stressed. Doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't. Okay, how can we get started on that? Get started on the courses. If you go here. I'll see if I can zoom a little bit more or a lot more. Okay, so if you go here, and you'll actually see the list. There's like a couple. There's one that's featured. That's Foundations to Algebra. Okay, it's basically a lot of the same stuff. And then there's one for GED. There's one for ASVAB. So if you're just doing math just to do math, the Foundations of Algebra. If you're doing the TEAS exam and you need help with the algebra, the Foundations to Algebra will help you as well. That will also go for those that are trying to be an electrician apprentice, the IBEW. I actually had a person that passed it. So he's happy. I'm happy. So, and he worked really hard too. Caught me at the close end. You're welcome. You're so welcome. Yep. So you pick whichever test you are, but if you're not doing the test, Foundations to Algebra will work perfect for you. And then take advantage of the practice test. Take advantage of that mini quiz. Do those things. And I'm not saying to do it just because I created it. I just feel that it will be more effective, and then you can go at your pace, and then whatever questions that pops up, you can contact me and say, hey, Audrey, like I saw the video, but I'm still a little lost about this. Then we can have a discussion about that. Okay? All right. Anything else? I was like, why am I so thirsty? Because I haven't shut up yet. Haven't shut me up yet. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, I don't know what happened. But if you guys have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me. Okay. So you can go with that Service Plus at the very bottom, and you can just send me a message. You can send me an email. Okay. Okay, Jan. All right, I'll take a look. All right. If there's nothing else, I am going to wrap up. Yes, Janice, you're good. It did go through. I just got the thing. All right, good. Have a good night. I will see you guys tomorrow. And I think that's about it. All right, have a lovely evening. Stay safe, and I'll see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. All right, take care. Bye now.